Hey, my friends, I hope that you're having a great week. I've been doing, in my personal time over the last year or so, I've been doing a deep dive into the book of Thessalonians, and it's been incredibly encouraging for me. And I just want to talk about some things that I've observed that I think will be good for you today. I want you to imagine that you have three guys that are walking into a town like Thessalonica, and it's Paul and Silvanus and Timothy. And they come walking into this town, and there's pretty much a smorgasbord of potential gods that you can worship. So if you wanted to worship Zeus, there was a temple over there for that. If you wanted to worship Asclepius, you could because there was a temple for that. There were even temples there where you could worship Egyptian gods. It was more or less like the Lubies of things. And there wasn't anything about their life that was really separated. It wasn't like, well, that's just where you do your religious stuff, but over here, that's where you do business. All of it was a mash. Everything was put together. And so you could go in and do business deals in the temple and come to an agreement with somebody and then offer a sacrifice up to the God for the blessing that you had for the deal that you just did in the temple. This is what those guys walked into when they came into the city. And they came in and they were just sharing Jesus with people. And after a while, you know what? People actually started to believe. And they were having to walk away from this old way of life and walk into this new one. The great thing about it as they were coming to Jesus, you look in the letter, because it's an incredibly encouraging letter, within 1 year of all of that happening, this church had such a profound impact that, as Paul said as he was writing to them, that your witness has gone out well beyond the city, that their living example had expanded the gospel hundreds of miles well beyond Thessalonica. You got to think about that. It wasn't happening by social media. It wasn't happening because they had a TV show that was, publishing the worship services that they were doing. He said it was because of your witness. Boy, that's encouraging, isn't it? But the other thing that I was observing about it is that Paul and Silvanus and Timothy, as they were writing to them, said that the people in Thessalonica, were imitating them. And as they imitated them, they were actually following Jesus. And boy, that's really something. Never underestimate the power of a positive example. I don't know if you know this, but Phil Mickelson, really one of the most famous golfers of this last generation, he's called lefty, but he's actually not. He's righty. Everything that he actually does with his right hand, except for golf. Golf, he actually plays left-handed. And so people were wondering, well, what's the story behind that if you're right-handed? And the answer is that as he was learning golf, he wanted to mirror what his father did so that he could learn the game. And so as his father, who was right-handed, would be one way, Phil Mickelson was literally in front of him left-handed, going the other way. Never underestimate the power of a positive example. So here's the encouragement that I want to give you this week is don't push away the responsibility of being a positive example. Just like you see in Scripture, it says that we do our good works so that you can see and glorify the Father. And I just want to encourage you, church, to follow the example of the Thessalonians, who were willing to follow the example of somebody like a Paul and a Silvanus and a Timothy, so that our witness can go well beyond anything that we had probably ever hoped or dreamed. Hope you have a great week. And I hope to see you on Sunday. We're going to be worshiping at 9 and 10:30. Consider yourself invited.